Do you want to be a master baker with little time and money? Well, now you can. I'm here to show you how, starting with a classic favorite, banana bread. Sometimes you need tips when baking, and looking things up gets complicated really fast. They use terminology that's complicated and you may not know exactly what it means. I'm here to kind of simplify things for you so you can really understand what to do and how. For my credibility, I bake all the time. My family and friends love what I bake. I bring it to functions, all that. I've worked for a hospitality food service for about 4 years now, so I know how to cook and prep fast and easy ways. I'm also a college student, so I understand having little time and money available to do things like baking, which is why I love banana bread. It's so fast and easy and everyone loves it. When listening to my speech, my audience will be able to understand how to save time and money when baking, learn useful strategies and tips to make easy crowd pleasers, and how to obtain the right tools while throwing your own fun styles into whatever you bake. So starting with saving time and money when baking, most of your ingredients are non-perishable items, which means you can buy them in bulk. So sugar, flour, your spices, and then you have milk and eggs in your fridge normally anyway, so you're always ready to go. Another time-saving tip is saving bananas. When you buy them, you get too many and they go brown before you eat them, you can throw them in your freezer. Kester wrote a good article about saving bananas in your freezer and the benefits of them, how you can use them for more than just banana bread, like smoothies, other recipes as well. Or the best thing about saving the bananas is they have their own shell. You don't need to put them in anything at all. You can just take them out, unfreeze them, and they're ready to go. Another way to save time is to put them in a muffin tray instead of a loaf pan. This makes cleanup a lot easier. You don't need to wash a whole pan. You just pull the little papers out and you're all done and ready to go. So moving on to our next topic, which is learning useful strategies to make crowd pleasers. So when making food for large groups, it's hard to kind of gauge what they can or cannot eat. So you can put chocolate chips or nuts in your banana bread, either or. Certain baking techniques will definitely affect your turnout. One of the biggest ones is sifting your flour. For any type of bread, you should always be sifting your flour out with one of these. You can get it at the dollar store. This will add like fluffiness, more air, and buoyancy. There's an article called What Does Sifting Flour Do? It's a way of aerating the flour, getting the lumps out. It comes in a bag, it gets really clumpy, as you can see. It's kind of crushed down a lot, and that won't work when baking. You'll get like big dry clumps of whatever globbed together. Also, you need to separate your dry from your wet. So wets would be like oil, sugar, milk, butter. Dry would be flour, salt, cinnamon, baking soda. So you need to remember that properly. Decker wrote an article saying that if you mix them all together at once, your flour will get overworked and your turnout's going to be really chewy and rough and just not good at all. So if you don't do these two basic things when making any type of bread, it won't work. You need to sift your flour and separate your dry from your wets. So moving on to topic 3, which is getting the right kind of tools and throwing your own styles into baking. So getting the right kind of tools can get really expensive really fast. But it doesn't have to be. The only reason it is because you get like designer or fancy or high quality stuff. You don't really need it unless you want it to last a really long time, but still my stuff lasts. I recommend the dollar store. I get all my measuring cups there, my glasses, my dishware. They also have cupcake wrappers, which is really nice. They have everything you need and you don't really need to go anywhere else. One thing that's really nice to have when baking is an electric mixer or a KitchenAid. I have an off-brand KitchenAid, which looks like this. I got at a yard sale for about $30. Pretty cheap, pretty easy, so you can find them used. You don't have to buy them brand new. You can also throw your own twists when making things. Piping the frosting, which is really fun. Frosting bags and kits get pretty expensive and you can't always reuse them, or they're hard to reuse. Really all you need is a Ziploc sandwich bag. You fill it with frosting, you cut the corner off, and you can pipe onto it, onto your muffins, whatever, your own little frosting designs, and you can get really creative with the shape of the hole you cut out the bottom and everything, and it's super fun and easy to do at home. So overall, I talked about saving time and money when baking, how to use some useful strategies to make wonderful dishes, and how to get the right tools and throw in your own twist to make it fun. So again, I've been baking for a really long time now. I've always made it for family events and stuff because I never had like money to go buy something, so we always made something. I've worked for a catering company for a really long time, so I know how to put together things really quickly and make them look nice. What you should take away from this is you should understand that baking isn't hard, it's basically a science. As Decker says, it's a tremendous scope for creativity, but at its very core, it's a very precise science, and if you don't do it right, it's not going to turn out right. All you need to do is follow a recipe, and you can have wonderful baked goods in your own home with the supplies you have already. And just remember that anyone can bake an amazing crowd-pleasing dish. The recipe for these muffins will be in the description of the video. And here is the final result if you do everything just right.